Okay, so here we are at the actual assembly video. You can now see what I look like. And in front of me, I have the different parts I'll use, and my case is to the side here. Hopefully you can identify these parts. If not, maybe go back and rewatch the videos. So first thing I'm going to do is attach everything to the motherboard except the power supply and the graphics card. So here we are with the motherboard, as you can see. So you can notice some of the things I talked about in my video, the CPU socket, RAM slots, power, PCIe, this is 16x, and then these are 1. So the first thing I want to do is install the CPU. It's fairly easy actually. So first you just got to make sure that the text on the CPU lines up with the text on the motherboard so it's the same direction, and then set it in. Alright, excellent. And then use this bar here and push it forward. Make sure it's lined up. Then, there we go. And clamp it underneath this. Excellent. It takes a little bit of force, so don't worry though. So, next, CPU fan. I didn't talk about these in my video, but basically these have a fan that spins, obviously, and a heat sink that absorbs heat from the CPU, and then the fan blows it off, basically. So, very good for keeping your CPU cool. So, to install it, pretty simple. You just line up the screws with the holes on the motherboard and then screw. While I'm screwing, I will mention that CPU fans come with your CPU, so you don't have to worry about going out and buying one. Although there are specialty manufacturers that make CPU fans. In case you're going to be doing more intensive processes that'll heat up the CPU. Okay. Need to give it a bit more force as you screw in each one. Okay. Okay, last one. Okay, great. You don't gotta screw them too tight, just so that it's not jangling around on the motherboard. Okay, next. Just plug it in. Pretty simple. Here's the port. Here's the connection. There we go. Okay, so after you get the CPU and the CPU fan installed, next is RAM. So here on the RAM slots, we have these little clamps on the side here. These push down to make sure that the RAM actually stays in. But the problem is you can't put it in if the clamps are there. So make sure these are unclamped. So then, basically, you line these up with the ridges, push them in, and give them a little bit of force. Excellent. Do it again. You line them up with the ridges. You give them some force. Okay, and that's it. So we have now installed the RAM, the CPU, and the CPU fan. So next I will be actually putting this into the case. Okay, so here we have the case, obviously. You can see some wires dangling about. So, first thing you got to do is get the wires out of the way, and you take the motherboard, you put it I/O port side first. Get it all lined up. Get any case wires out of the way. Oi, oi, oi. It sounds a lot more problematic than it actually is. So, let's see. Lined up here. Lined up here. Excellent, excellent. Okay, great. Okay, so, once you have it in, what you want to do is screw the motherboard to the case so that it's not just loose in there. So this is pretty simple. Take a screw. These usually come with the case or the motherboard sometimes. So you gotta set it in there and then screw it in. Yeah, pretty simple. Can you see that? Okay, so There's quite a few of these around the motherboard. You can see here, 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 and here. Probably speed this up for the sake of cohesion, but okay, get that one in. Very nice. Next one. Put it in. And screw it. So, pretty simple. As long as you know how to use a screwdriver, you'll be fine. Okay. Set in. Okay. Just a couple left. Let's go right here. Then, last screw, I'll put in right here. Oh. Okay, excellent. There we go. Great. Make sure that motherboard is in there secure. Alright, and there we go. The motherboard is actually installed in the case now. So, there we go. Okay, so what I'd like to do next is install the GPU, which I have here. So, anyways, this is going to go right here. So, on this case, it's special. So, you have a little flap right here that you press down and open. On most cases, you are going to have these little things right here. Hang on, let me show you. Okay. These little back panel metal protectors. So you're going to want to take these out where you're going to put your GPU so that the ports can actually stick out. Okay, let me just get that back in there. Oop, oop, oop. A bit tricky these are. Okay, okay. Let me try. Good. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say that these are tricky. Trust me here. Okay, perfect. Alright, now install the GPU. So, first, line up the pins to the slot. Just make sure there's no dangling wires. And just line them up. Then give it a little bit of force. And then close this back up. And there we go. The GPU is now installed. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to install the hard drive. So, many cases, this one does. It comes with a little caddy here that you can place your CPU in, or hard drive in. So, line these up. Okay, good. And you can just slide it in, upside down. Is that right? Oh, okay. Sorry, give me just a second. Make sure all of these are lined up. Okay, great. Now you can slide it in. It fits. So, now, get your SATA cable. And one end into the hard drive, and the other into a SATA port on the motherboard. Now, these are labeled, so let's see. 4, 5. This one. Going to want the smallest SATA number for your hard drive. Or at least the hard drive that has your operating system on it. Okay, excellent. That's connected. So, I didn't connect power, but I will be doing that next, installing the power supply. I'm going to actually install this disk drive here. So, one end here, the other just anywhere really. Perfect. So now the disk drive and the hard drive are now installed in the computer. Okay, so when screwing in your motherboard to the case, make sure that it's as far in as it'll go. Let me see, is this in right? No, it is not. That's another consideration to make. The side that has the fan always goes towards the motherboard. I'll leave that error in just to show you that it makes sense. So now it's secure. Now you just line up the screw with the hole on the case and screw. Okay, that's one. These are a bit tricky. Oh. Not too hard though. Okay, second. Now third. Great. And fourth. Okay, excellent. So now that I've got it screwed in, I can actually show you that there are screws here and here and here and here. Sorry, here. All right, excellent. So now we've got it all screwed in. Okay, so now that we've got the power supply secure, now it's time to actually install the wires. So I have a modular power supply. I believe I briefly spoke about these. So these allow you to just plug in the wires you need for your motherboard. So quite simple. One end goes into the power supply motherboard. Depending on the size of your case, installing the wires can be the easiest or the hardest part of the computer. There we go. Okay, there we go. Secure. Okay. Now we attach motherboard power. Okay. Excellent. So, now let's SATA. Excellent. So one end goes into the power supply. Sorry. Great. And the other goes into the SATA device. There we go. Excellent. Put this aside. Oh yes, here we have GPU power. So let's see, GPU. Excellent. Oh, great. And then other end into the GPU. Awesome. So then, last but not least, CPU power. So one end goes into the power supply. Oh, excuse me, it's a bit of a smaller case. Okay, there we go. Excellent. So then you like I said, this can either be the easiest or the hardest part of building the computer. Okay, here we are. CPU goes in right here. It's always going to be next to the CPU. There we go. Also, connect your chassis fan. Make sure of this. I almost forgot. Great. Okay. Okay, so I almost forgot to mention this. You're going to want to connect your case pins. So, let's grab this one here. Let's see. Where does this go? Oh, yes, of course. This one always gives me trouble. Okay, so we can get it through these others. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, there we go. Yes. Oh, my finger got caught. I pulled it back out. All right. Okay, there we go. That one's connected. Let's see. Those. The border pins. Oh no. Huh. I guess that's it. All right then. Okay, so now that we actually have the computer assembled, it's time to plug it in. So, first thing you do, you take the power cable that came with your power supply, plug it into the back, okay, and plug the other end into a power outlet. Oh. Wait, it's turned on, but first I want to show you. Make sure that you plug in your display into the graphics card. Now I highlighted this, but I want to really get that point down. Okay, excellent. Okay, the other end is plugged in. Okay, then the monitor. Okay, that part's in, and the other part is going into power supply. Great. Okay, so let's get this on. Excellent. And now for the final test. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. Our computer works. Alrighty. So that about covers it. If there was anything I was a bit light upon, well, there's hundreds and thousands of computer assembly tutorials on YouTube and elsewhere on the internet. So if there's anywhere that you are particularly needing to brush up on, the internet is your greatest ally. So I hope this helped, and I wish the best luck to all of you in your future computer assembly work. Cat. What? What? God dang it.